Hello everybody, my name is Caleb Cochran, and today I will be presenting about the fall of the Aral Sea. Let's begin with an explanation of what the Aral Sea is. The Aral Sea is derived from the Kyrgyz word Aral Dengis, meaning Sea of Islands. The Aral Sea is/was a lake situated between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. It was once the fourth largest lake in the world. It was originally around the size of 68,000 square kilometers, but has since declined, losing around 90% of its original size. Let's talk about the timeline of events from the 1960s to the current day. In the 1960s, the Soviet Union, which owned the land at that time, undertook a major water diversion project. The two rivers that fed the basin were diverted for agriculture, primarily cotton farms. Since the lake receives very little precipitation per year, less than 200 millimeters per year, the result was widespread evaporation of the lake. In the top left, you can see a picture of what the lake looked like in 1964. In the top left of each of these slides on the timeline, you will see a picture of what the lake looked like from that time. By the 1980s, Central Asia was the world's fourth largest producer of cotton. By 1989, the lake had receded to form two separate parts, the Greater Sea and the Lesser Sea. Both sections can be seen in the picture in the top left. The Greater Sea is the largest section in the south, while the Lesser Sea is the smaller section in the north. By 1992, the total area combined between the Greater Sea and the Lesser Sea was now 33,800 square kilometers. Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tajikistan established a joint committee to save the Aral Sea. By the 2010s, the lake had almost completely dried up. What has been left behind is a large desert with a ship graveyard. Former United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon, after visiting Muyanek in 2011, labeled it one of the planet's worst environmental disasters. In the picture, you can see several ships stranded in the Aral Sea. Next, let's look at some effects of the decline. Increase of salinity. Since the 1960s, the salinity has gone from 10 grams per liter to exceeding 100 grams per liter, about 3 times saltier than the ocean. This increase in salt made the water unfit for consumption and killed the once abundant fish population, that is sturgeon, carp, barbel, roach, and others. This dealt an unrecoverable blow to the fishing industry along the lake. Contaminated dust. The now exposed seabed produced dust storms. That being bad enough, the dust was contaminated with fertilizer and pesticides. Those who lived in the area suffered higher than average rates of throat cancers, anemia, kidney diseases, and infant mortality rates. Volchtrozhdynia. Volchtrozhdynia Island roughly translates to Rebirth Island. It was used for Soviet biological weapon testing during the Cold War. It, like many other islands, became connected to the mainland as the lake receded. It became of particular concern as it was a host to many dangerous substances like anthrax. In 2002, a team of workers from the United States cleaned up the anthrax burial sites. In the picture on the bottom left, Volchtrozhdynia is the labeled island on the bottom. Here's a 1-minute time-lapse video of the Aral Sea from 1977 to 2021. Here were/are some efforts to restore the lake. Aral Sea Basin Program. A plan created in 1993 by the Republic of Kazakhstan. It was the first Aral Sea Basin Program, hence ASBP1. It was aimed at improving the socio-economic and environmental situation of the region. It ended up being unsuccessful as it could not fundamentally affect the solution of all the problems of the Aral Sea Basin and the suspension of the ecological crisis in that region. Kokarel Dam. Built by the Republic of Kazakhstan, it finished construction in 2005. It was to control the water level of the North Aral Sea, preventing further decline. It helped restore the water salinity level to about 8 grams per liter. On the left you can see a picture from 1977, before the construction of the dam. On the right, you can see a picture from 2006, after the construction of the dam. Environmental Restoration of the Aral Sea 1. A plan created by the United States Agency for International Development, or USAID. It cost around $1.35 million. It was planned to last from 2021 to 2024. The project involved creating an oasis 50 kilometers from the village of Kuratarin, with the hopes of creating a stable ecological system with endemic species of flora and fauna. Here we have the second part of USAID's plan, Environmental Restoration of the Aral Sea 2. It cost around $1.65 million. It is planned to last from 2022 to 2025. This project involves implementing proven methods to enhance sustainability, for example, planting forests, and to promote cooperation between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Thank you for listening. Here are my references.